Hi there, in this video we're going to take a look at some of the user-centric reports inside of DeliverPoint. So first of all, what we're going to do is head on into DeliverPoint. So I'm going to choose the DeliverPoint option, and again, just as we pointed out in the previous video, you could also do this through the DeliverPoint web part as well if you like. But what we're going to do inside of here is first of all come in to the tree view option, so we're showing the tree view, and in here is where you'll see all the different site collections and where you can set the scope if you want to. But there's also different views where you can focus in on classic sites or hub sites or teams, and that will filter the contents based upon that type of object. But what we're going to do is focus in on a user. Now the scope here is set to the current site collection, and I'll show you how we can also run the same report across multiple site collections in a moment. But first of all, what I want to do is just come in here and put in the name of an account that I'm interested in knowing more about. So in here we'll select the demo user 4 account. So I'll choose that account here, and from the reports menu we're going to come down to the unique permissions report first of all. And that unique permissions report, when we trigger that, it's going to show me all of the account memberships and all of the site permissions, lists and item permissions that this user has been assigned to. And that, just to be clear, isn't everything that that user has permissions to, because there's a lot of objects that may inherit permissions, but it's where the permissions have actually been assigned. All of that is going to show up inside of this report here. And it may not be a direct assignment to the user account itself. It may be through a SharePoint group, a Microsoft 365 group, or also through an AD security group, or even a nested AD security group. And that's the importance of showing the account membership here. So I can see what groups the user is a member of. So notice that we've got the everyone group, and of course demo user 4 is a member of that, but demo user 4 is also a member of accounts payable, which is an AD security group, as well as sales, which is an AD security group. And then we also have some SharePoint groups. Note the slightly different icon. So we have the visitors and the members group inside this site collection, followed by a limited access group, which is used for sharing. And finally, we've also got one called regions visitors as well. And these two, if I just highlight those, are not granted directly, but they are granted through the Sales AD Security Group. So the Sales AD Security Group is a member of the sales members and the regions visitors, but Demo User 4 is a member of that Sales AD Security Group. Okay, so we can see that information. We can also see any site permissions, like say list permissions or item permissions. That includes the permission level itself to the item, to the site or to the list, and then also on the far left hand side how that user has been granted those permissions. So again, whether it's direct or whether it's through one of the groups. And if I was to select one of these rows, we can change that row. So here, if I wanted to go through and remove demo user 4's direct permissions here, what we could do is come down to the account management, choose delete permissions, and what I don't want to do is delete the groups that the user is a member of. So I'm going to clear these options here for modifying SharePoint groups and modifying 365 groups. I'm just interested in those list or items where the user's got direct permissions. So I'm going to select those. We'll have the safety net of supporting the rollback. And then we're going to run this, and that will go through and delete those permissions. As you can see, it's achieved that, and we can refresh this report now, and what we'll see is some nice tidy permissions, because everything for demo user 4 is assigned through a group and not directly. Okay, so that's how we can run the unique permissions report for that current user. Now what I'm also going to do here is show you how we can run that from other views as well. So if I was to add 2 site collections here as a scope, I can also get to that unique permissions report from the reports menu, and from here we can also search on a user and generate, and this will go through this time 2 site collections. And as you can see, it's processing a lot of lists here and a lot of items and groups, etc. But once it's done, we'll have that report ready for us, so that we can actually span that across multiple scopes. And you can see here the scope was those 2 different site collections there. Okay, what you'll also notice, and I'm going to pick on a different user for this, I'm going to pick on Sandy. So we're going to do a search on Sandy, and in here we can see Sandy's account, and just a couple of other user-centric reports include the OneDrive Permissions and the OneDrive Sharing Links. So if Sandy has been sharing items from her OneDrive. We'll see who she shared them with and what permissions they have. So that's the OneDrive direct permissions, and then we've also got these sharing links as well, where Sandy has been sharing things through her OneDrive. And again, we can also go through and remove those sharing links if we so choose from that option there. Okay, so there are a few different user-centric reports. One of the newer reports inside of DeliverPoint is actually the my own site collections. And what you'll notice if we just pop out of DeliverPoint and go back into it again, from the reports menu, we can hit the my own site collections, and it will show me all of the site collections that I manage. And what we can do is go through and select one or two of those and report on them as well. So we can do all of that from within DeliverPoint. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. If there's any questions, as always, please reach out to us on help@lightningtools.com. Many thanks.